Hello and welcome to an EKU Libraries tutorial about SPORTDiscus, a library database that will help you find resources in sports and sports medicine. This tutorial will show you how to locate the database SPORTDiscus from the EKU Libraries homepage, search the database using search terms and phrases, and filter or limit your results based on criteria such as publication date, peer review status, and more. Let's get started. From the library's homepage at library.eku.edu, look for the link to Databases under the search heading. This is the landing page for the hundreds of databases that EKU Libraries makes available to you to support your research. There are a couple of ways to get to SPORTDiscus from here. I recommend using the All Subjects drop-down menu located near the top of the page to filter the list down to the resources most relevant to exercise and sport science. Select that option. This gives you quick access to additional exercise and sports science databases, many of which could be useful at another point in your research or for another topic or class in the future. Notice that SPORTDiscus is listed at the top of the Exercise and Sports Science resource list under the Best Bets heading. Click on the SPORTDiscus link to open the database. You might be asked to log in using your EKU email address and password. This is the advanced search screen for SPORTDiscus. Notice that there are 3 search boxes instead of just one, and that those 3 search boxes are each connected to each other with drop-down menus default set to the word "and." We'll talk more about this later in the tutorial. If you have used Academic Search Ultimate, this screen might feel familiar to you. That's because Academic Search Ultimate and SPORTDiscus are managed by the same company, EBSCOhost. Confirm that you are in SPORTDiscus by checking near the top of the page above the search boxes. It should say Searching SPORTDiscus with full text. Let's try a simple search about knee injuries to start. I'll just type knee injury into the first search box and then click the search button located to the right of the boxes to run the search. The first thing I notice is that I got over 9,000 results. And by looking at some of the titles, I also notice that the results are kind of all over the place. I see results about knee injuries in high school athletes, knee injuries in competitive badminton players, and even results about knee injuries and core training. How can I get fewer results that are more focused on a common topic within the broad subject of knee injuries? For example, what if what I am really interested in is ACL injuries in teenagers? One way you can narrow your search to results with a tighter, more specific focus is by replacing a broad search term with a more specific search term. Let's test that out by deleting the term knee injury and replacing it with ACL injury. As I'm typing, you can see SPORTDiscus suggests synonyms or terms that are similar to my initial search term, such as tear or ACL rupture. But notice how it is also putting the word "or" between each term it suggests. The default for most search tools, including Google, is to assume you want the sources included in your search results to contain all of the words you enter into the search box, which means it will not show you a source that doesn't contain every single word you type in the box. However, there are workarounds you can use to tell a search tool you want it to behave differently than the default. Using the word "or" to link your search terms tells a database or other search tool that any of those terms will work for you. This way, you will get more results than if you only used the term ACL injury, because you'll also get results where the author uses one of the other terms instead. You can ignore these suggestions and stick to only the term you originally typed in, or you can use the database suggestions by simply clicking on a suggestion you like. It's entirely up to you, and you can always change your mind later. For this search, let's take the database's suggestion for this one to make sure we get as many resources about ACL injuries as possible. I'll click on the database's suggestion and then rerun the search. We got well over 7,000 results, but that's okay. We can narrow and focus our results even more by adding another term that helps define our research topic. For example, we are actually interested in ACL injuries in teenagers, not just ACL injuries in general. Remember at the beginning of the tutorial when I pointed out how we have 3 search boxes connected by the word "and" on the advanced search screen? Let's go back and look. We can use these extra search boxes to narrow our results by adding terms that represent additional aspects of our research topic. While the word "or" tells the database that we don't care which way an author writes about ACL injuries, the word "and" tells the database we only want articles that discuss the stuff in the first box, all those terms for ACL injuries, and whatever we put in the second box. For us, that would be teenagers. Let's add it to the second search box. Notice that SPORTDiscus suggests adolescents and young adults as similar terms to our search term teenagers. You can accept this suggestion or ignore it, same as before. Let's try both ways to see the difference. Using teenagers alone gives us almost 400 results. Let's go back and try the SPORTDiscus suggestion of teenagers or adolescents or young adults. That search gives us 475 results. Either of these searches still feels like a lot of results, so we might want to consider adding another idea to our research topic. I remember seeing some articles about basketball in our very first broad search for knee injury. Let's add basketball to the third search box to see how that changes our search. Don't forget to click the search button to tell the database to rerun the search. Now we have a little under 50 results focused on ACL injuries in teens playing basketball. 50 results feels like a good starting point. But what should you do if your search gives you too few results? Let's test this out by trying to search for something very specific. Let's look for research about shoulder pain in female college athletes. Remember how we put different pieces of our research topic in different boxes in our first search? Let's do that with this search too. We have 3 distinct aspects to look at: shoulder pain, college athletes, female. I'll type shoulder pain in the first search box and then college athletes in the second search box. And I'm just going to ignore the database suggestions for these two. Now I'll add female in the third search box. The database suggests female or women or woman or females here. I'm going to accept the suggestion this time. We only get 5 results with this search. We definitely need more than 5 sources for most research projects. So how might we fix this? Instead of adding a focus to narrow our results, as we did with our first search about ACL injuries, here we need to remove some focus to broaden our results. For example, maybe it doesn't matter so much that they are college athletes. Let's do that now. I'll delete college, leaving shoulder pain and athletes and female or women or woman or females. Let's click the search button to run this search. That gives us almost 100 results, which is a much more comfortable starting point. Now that we've learned a little about playing with our search terms to get better results from SPORTDiscus, let's explore how to use database filters to adjust our results even more. If you look at the left side of the results page, you will see a variety of filters under the header All Filters. The first one is Full Text. This filter is tempting because it seems like adding it would ensure I get only results for which full text is available. However, it's a bit misleading, and under most circumstances, I recommend you don't add it. Let's scan through our results again. Notice that most of the articles seem to have a PDF or HTML full text link. Clicking on one of those links will take me directly to that article in this database. However, if I keep scrolling down, I start seeing that some articles don't have HTML or PDF full text links. What they have instead is a link called Find Full Text. Clicking on Find Full Text will do one of two things. Remember all of those databases on the database landing page? If we have access to an article in one of those other databases, this link will take you to that article. You have the option of either downloading the PDF or accessing a link to the article so that you can read it in your browser. If we don't have access to that article in another database we subscribe to, the link will let you ask for us to get you that article at no cost to you through an EKU Libraries service called Library Express. You will see a link, Item Not in Our Collection, Request for Free from EKU Libraries. Clicking this link will get you started in the request process. The next filter we want to look at is peer-reviewed. This option is great for when you only need scholarly or academic sources, like articles from peer-reviewed journals. Selecting the box next to this limiter will take out most non-scholarly sources. Next, we have the publication date option. If your professor has a time period requirement for your articles, or you know your topic is a time-sensitive one where older information is no longer valid, using this filter will limit your results to only show sources published within your chosen time period. Let's set our required publication date range to the past 10 years. That drops out anything published prior to 2015. Now let's look at the source type filter. Source type shows a breakdown of what kind of sources are present and even lets you limit to certain publication or source types. Here we can see we have results from both academic journals and magazines. I'm going to select just academic journals. Subject tags can be especially useful when you get results in the hundreds of thousands, because sometimes you can see a more focused topic within these subject tags that better represents your research interests. For example, if you notice this subject tag, range of motion of joints, and realize that's what you were really looking for, you can simply click the box next to that term to narrow your search results down to only those looking at that aspect of shoulder pain. Be careful using this limiter, though. You may accidentally weed out great articles without meaning to. This EKU Libraries tutorial introduced you to searching in SPORTDiscus, a library database covering topics within sports and sports medicine. We learned how to get started with basic keyword searching, how to narrow or broaden a search to get fewer or more results by playing with our search terms, and how to apply some of the built-in filters or limiters to get results better suited to your needs. If you have questions or would like more help searching, check out our Get Help page, linked from the upper right of our homepage. From this page, you can access our FAQs, research guides, chat with us, or make an in-person or online appointment with a librarian. Happy searching!